Welcome to Mindset Masters. 1 year ago, I was broke. I had no savings, no investment, and honestly, I didn't even know where my next paycheck was going to come from. I was stuck in a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, constantly stressed about money, and unsure how to change my financial situation. Fast forward to today, and I'm financially free. So, how did I do it? Let me take you through my journey, the lessons I learned, and the steps I took to go from broke to financially free in just 1 year. It all started with a wake-up call. I was tired of feeling anxious every time I checked my bank account. I knew something had to change, but I didn't know where to begin. The first step was accepting that I was in a bad financial situation. I had to acknowledge the reality of my finances before I could start fixing them. Once I accepted where I was, I made the decision to take control of my money, no matter what it took. I began by understanding where my money was going. I tracked every expense. I downloaded an app to monitor my spending, and let me tell you, I was shocked. Small purchases that I thought weren't a big deal were adding up quickly. The daily coffee runs, subscription services I never used, and impulse buys were draining my bank account without me even realizing it. By simply cutting out unnecessary expenses, I was able to free up money that I could put towards savings and paying off debt. After that, I created a strict budget. I learned to live within my means, something that was really difficult at first. It wasn't easy saying no to things I used to buy regularly, but I had to remind myself that it was temporary. I prioritized needs over wants. The budget was the foundation that gave me control over my finances. I wasn't just spending aimlessly anymore. I was making conscious decisions about where my money went, and that made all the difference. I also took a hard look at my debt. I had credit card debt and a student loan, and I knew I had to get rid of them. I researched different methods to pay off debt, and I decided to use the debt snowball method. I tackled the smallest debt first and then moved on to the next one, building momentum as I went. It wasn't easy, and there were days when I felt like giving up. But every time I paid off another debt, I felt a sense of freedom and motivation to keep going. Throughout this journey, one of the most important lessons I learned was the power of consistency. I didn't get financially free overnight. It took time, effort, and discipline. Every single day, I made the choice to stay committed to my goals, whether it was cutting back on spending, increasing my income, or paying down my debt. Even on days when it felt tough, I kept going because I knew the end result would be worth it. As my financial situation started improving, I also started thinking about investing. I realized that in order to build long-term wealth, I needed to make my money work for me. So, I started educating myself on different types of investments, like stocks, real estate, and mutual funds. I started small, investing in low-cost index funds, but as I gained more confidence, I diversified my portfolio. The key here was to start early, even with small amounts, because compound interest is incredibly powerful over time. I also sought advice from financial experts. I read books, listened to podcasts, and followed people on social media who shared practical financial tips. Having access to the right information was crucial in helping me make informed decisions about my money. I learned the importance of having an emergency fund, retirement savings, and making long-term investments that would continue to grow, even when I wasn't actively working on them. As I got more comfortable with my finances, I started focusing on financial goals. I set specific, measurable, and time-bound goals for my savings and investments. I wanted to retire early, pay off my mortgage, and have enough money to live comfortably without relying on a paycheck. These goals gave me something to work towards, and they kept me motivated, especially during moments of doubt. Looking back, the year wasn't easy. There were setbacks, moments when I felt like quitting, and times when I was tempted to go back to old spending habits. But I didn't give up. I stayed disciplined and focused on my goals, and eventually, the results paid off. Now, I'm in a position where I don't have to worry about money anymore. I have investments that generate passive income, a solid emergency fund, and a healthy credit score. I'm not saying that financial freedom is easy, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. But it is possible if you're willing to put in the work. It took time, sacrifice, and a lot of learning, but now I'm living proof that anyone can go from broke to financially free with the right mindset and strategies. So, if you're watching this and feeling stuck, know that change is possible. Start small, take control of your finances, and make a plan. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Your financial freedom is within reach, and all it takes is the first step. If I can do it, so can you. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and stay committed. Financial freedom is a journey, but I promise, it's one worth taking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.